Hi, it's time for Good Energy, and I'm Dr. Julie, and welcome to Bodyful 227. Today we are talking about bloating in the senses. We're talking about the sense of touch. This is day 4 of our series on bloating in the senses, and we're going to talk about how we can use the sense of touch, what we know about the touch receptors, in order to calm the body, and how those can cause bloating on their own. All right, let's start this out. Let's take our deep breath in and release. With your next deep breath in, go ahead and breathe in. Expand in the belly, expand in the chest, expand in the sinuses, and just relax a little bit back. And exhale. And now, because we're talking about bloating and the senses, I want you to think about your last big family gathering where you ate too much. And I want you to breathe into that. Think about that. Thanksgiving. And release. All right. So today we're on day 4 of bloating in the senses, and we're talking about the sense of touch. Touch, remember, is the receptors that we have in our skin, but they can also be receptors that are on the inside of our body. So we talk about the ability to touch in terms of tactile. How much are we touching? We have the ability to detect vibration, and we have the ability to detect temperature on our skin. And all of these can be recruited to help with our bloating. But before we get to all that lovely good energy, and remember that we're working on the healing equation, energy to have a healthy gut or a less bloated gut equals good energy and minus stressors. And when we talk about bloating, we talk about the sense of touch, there are a couple of ways that bloating can be triggered by the sense of touch. Now, the first and foremost, the easiest, is when you got pants that are a little too tight, when they are squeezing off. We've talked about this before. We've talked about how corsets can bind and they don't allow the system to digest food correctly. They are a physical constraint, even though technically we kind of dump it into kinesthetic. It is a sense of touch, a physical constraining, even if it's just a slightly tight pair of pants or a slightly snug shirt. It can send a signal into the body that says, we are not very comfortable. And in doing so, that distress about having pressure can actually cause bloating, because remember, we're working on the gut-brain axis, or gut-brain axis, brain-gut axis, such that sensory information coming in and being interpreted by the brain can alter your biochemistry and alter your microbiome, alter your critters inside your gut. So the sense of touch can do that through connection with the brain, but it can also do that just with constraint. It doesn't have to have a top-down component. It can truly have just a bottom-up component. Now, when we talk about relieving bloating through the sense of touch, this is where we get into cool stuff. All right, so we talk about my $5, it's from Target, it's a Homemedics little vibrating toy. I don't know if we can see the vibration. You can hear the vibration. And that can be used on your gut when you have bloating. That you can use it at a very superficial sense right across the skin, and that can relax the system, again providing good energy in. Or you can go a little deeper and work that vibration into the gut and work on having vibration deeper into the gut and the gut sensory system, which then releases extra serotonin, which then helps with good energy in, alters the gut chemistry, and can help you out. Now, the other thing that we can talk about, which you've probably done before, this is your average run-of-the-mill 20-year-old heating pad that you can plug in and you can stick on your belly when you are bloated. Now, the interesting reason why this works is that the sense of warmth doesn't just go to that layer of skin, but the sense of warmth is calming. And it can calm the brain. It can do its top-down thing. But warming the body from the inside out also releases cramping. And remember, part of the thing that happens with bloating is that we get air pockets, air tight spots, pinches, and that those pinches are filled with gas. So interestingly, body parts that are filled with gas is called colic. And we've talked about this before. Colic is, of course, what babies get. We talk about a baby being colicky. It's a baby having gas locked in various parts of its body and going, oh, hell no, this didn't happen when I was in you. Now it's happening out. I don't like this. But as adults, we're like, yeah, okay, I feel gassy and yucky and pain. Well, guess what? That's colic. It's just that we're adults and we don't scream for 2 hours with it. We moan and we groan, but we can put heat on. Now, the other interesting thing is just going back to the sense of touch. And if we think about how to relieve baby colic, adult colic is the same way. So heat, vibration, and then just massage, okay? The human digestive, the large intestine, which is huge, there are small intestine issues. So there are some of us who have what's called small intestinal bacteria overgrowth, or SIBO. And SIBO can happen in the small intestines, which basically happen in this entire area. But primarily, for most of us, our pain and tenderness kind of hunker down around our large intestine. And our large intestine runs clockwise from our right hip up across the front of our belly and down to our left hip. And so if we have issues with chronic cramping and bloating, we just kind of massage up and rub over and then rub down. It's that simple. We can use the sense of touch, even if all it is just touching the top of the skin. You're not even digging. You're just kind of rubbing in there, just like the vibration. You are sending a signal to the body that it is okay, that is okay to have contact, and you are sending warmth, a little vibration. We get back to our vibration tool. You can do the same thing. You can run that pattern and back down. You can turn your hot pad on and hold it there. And, hot water bottles were used for this reason. Hot water bottles are still used for this reason. These days, we've got those lovely microwavable rice packs that you can stick in the microwave and stick across your belly. Same thing goes. We can use the sense of touch, heat, or temperature, which in most of the case when we're dealing with bloating is heat, because we really don't want to cold it, because we want to kind of ramp up our metabolism. We want things to move. Usually bloating is things not moving, so we don't want to chill the enzyme reactions. We don't want to quiet the system down, because it's already way too quiet as it is. We want to heat up and speed the reactions so that it can keep going. So we're talking about heat, vibration, and touch. And all of those can be done on your belly, either at a very upper level, just imagining that your belly is that baby's belly, and all you're doing is just rubbing it, trying to make it feel good, to a little extra pressure. And that is good energy in. And so if you have bloating, touch is one of those wonderful scents that you can use to reduce it. We talked a little bit about hearing, but hearing was more about stressors. And we've already talked about smell, how that smell can be a learned brain-gut connection and trigger stressors. And we did talk about sight, and sight was more of, again, a brain-gut axis pathway leading to increased. But touch is one of those that you can automatically go into that is going to be really good energy in, just as you doing it yourself. All right, I hope this has been helpful. We're gonna move through we've got 3 remaining senses. One of them is vestibular, one of them is kinesthetic, and what is my last one? I can't remember. Taste, of course. So we've got 3 really bloating connected senses today for coming up, or how we can use these senses to heal, or how they actually really do contribute to a trigger. All right, let's finish it off. Take a deep breath in and release. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.